An Gully Ride.
An Gully Ride looking for 3 or 4 generations of a British Jamaican family who have come home to license in St. Thomas to celebrate the centenary of their matriarch, Ruby McFarlane. Morning, lady. Can you give me your full name, please?
My name is Herma Donaldson, but everybody call me Vicky.
Vicky?
Yes.
Okay, where are we now, Miss Vicky?
I'm 20 Dexton Drive, Lyson, Moran Bay.
What are we doing here today?
We are filming about my mother's 100th birthday.
What's her name?
Miss Ruby McFarlane.
Ruby McFarlane?
Yeah.
And what's your name, sir?
My name is Mark Winter.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm from London,
Uh-huh.
and I'm here to celebrate my grandmother's 100th birthday party.
Okay, fine. I just want to get an idea of where we are in relation to Moran Bay. Can you do that for me?
Well, at the end of the road, we've got License Beach.
Uh-huh. You can see it from here?
And you can see it from there. It's just beyond the trees, but you can see License Beach. And they've got the football pitch there where they play football on Sundays.
Uh-huh.
And maybe 10 kilometers on the right, you've got St. Margaret's Hospital.
Okay, and so your grandmother's now on the veranda?
She is.
Okay, how is she this morning?
Oh, she's fine. She's
Okay.
fine.
We'll be going down to see her now then.
Oh.
So you go ahead and we'll come right after you.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. So we went down to the veranda to meet Ruby McFarlane, the centenarian. Good morning. Can you tell me when she was born and where?
She was born on the 9th of July,
Uh-huh.
1915,
You okay?
at Blue Mountain, St. Thomas, Whitehall.
Whitehall?
Yeah.
What kind of work did her father do and her mother?
Her mother was a cultivator.
Uh-huh.
Her dad the same.
What did they grow?
They grow coconuts,
Uh-huh.
cane, pineapple.
Uh-huh. Vicky, that's a nickname. What do you remember about her? What's the first
Oh,
thing
she
you...
was a kind and good lady. She
Uh-huh.
was all good and kind to her grandchildren and other people as well. She went away.
She went to the UK?
Yeah.
Did she have any relatives living in the UK?
Her husband.
Anybody can tell me about those UK days?
She works at Lion Corner Shop.
Where, in London?
Doing cookery
Uh-huh.
and serving menus.
Uh-huh. Who owned the shop? Is it a West Indian who owned the shop or an English person?
No,
or
it
what?
was an English person.
Okay.
So Lions was an English franchise which you had dotted around various places of London.
Oh, it was a chain of
A
restaurants?
chain of restaurants,
Uh-huh.
one of which my grandmother worked in.
Yeah. So, Mr. Winter, how come you got to be born in England?
Well, I think it was shortly after my parents, Hilda Winter and Bert Winter, arrived into the UK.
From where?
From Jamaica.
Okay. They both came in together?
They both came in together.
Uh-huh.
And shortly after arriving, they had me. I'm the eldest son, and this was in 1964.
Okay. And so you were born in London?
I was born and bred in London.
Uh-huh. Anything you remember about the place where you were born and those days and what your parents were doing?
We were born at number 10 Hormead Road, which is in Paddington,
Uh-huh.
Westminster. And it was one of those sort of houses that was maybe 3 or 4 multi-stories high.
Yes.
And I've got a recollection of all my aunts and uncles.
Uh-huh.
This is where, arriving from Jamaica, this is where they all live. So
Okay.
we grew up in that house,
Uh-huh.
and their children, our parents' children, like myself, we all grew together.
Yes. So everybody who came from Jamaica went to live at this house. Did it have a name?
We call it Hormead Road.
How
Hormead Road.
you spell that?
Hormead.
Hormead Road.
That's correct.
Okay, and it was about a multi-story house.
Yes, it was. I can remember my grandmother, particularly close to carnival time, she used to make a lot of patterns.
What is carnival time now?
Carnival was, at that time, it was the beginning of the Notting Hill Carnival in Ladbroke Grove, and it's a yearly event.
So the place where you lived was in a West Indian or Caribbean community or what? Or mixed?
Certainly. At that time. It's changed a lot now, but at that time it was a West Indian community.
Yes. And they had this carnival every year?
And they had the carnival every year, beginning in 1964. And it still takes place now.
Yeah. What did they do at that carnival?
Initially, all the people from the different Caribbean islands would get together, and you have...
They bring food or cook food or what?
Yes, they bring food. Initially, it started that our parents would put a stall outside their house and sell their wares, and you had sound systems playing from the house. And then later on during the night, that all got packed away and turned into a blues dance. But of course, it's changed a lot since then, and now it's a multinational carnival with people taking part from and attending from all over the world.
Yes, but how did those people who were living in the neighborhood feel about all that noise?
Because it was a predominantly Caribbean community, it's what we do. It was, as we say, it's the way of us combining with each other.
Part of the culture of the...
Part of the culture of the community.
Yes, yes. Okay, what you remember then about your grandma, in particular, in those days?
Oh.
She was cooking, you say, in this...
I remember her cooking patties. I used to sniff around waiting for her to turn her back so I can get a patty.
And potato pudding.
And potato pudding.
And who ran the home, the multi-story home?
Miss Ruby and also her husband, and we used to call him Mas Ken. We had a basement. And that was where we used to get beaten when we was naughty.
Naughty?
Yes, all the children.
Yeah. Take it down to the basement and beat you?
Take it down to the basement. And it was Maskin, he was the disciplinarian in the house.
Yes.
He used to keep us on our toes.
What did he look like? What kind of man was he?
He was a big, strong man. And he had a broad stature as well. He worked on the building trade. So he was very physical.
So that was the environment in which Miss Ruby flourished, no?
Yes.
You are watching Hill and Gully Ride, brought to you by the Media Technology Institute, training the best.
The CPTC celebrates Jamaica 53 proud and free with Olive and Miss Lou Jamaica Folk Icons DVD gift set. Hear the stories of the life and work of Olive Lewin and visit with Miss Lou, her life, portraits and performances. Get this cultural duo DVD gift set for your family and friends. Available at the CPTC and all JCDC parish offices island-wide. See the press for details.
You are watching Hill and Gully Ride, brought to you by the Media Technology Institute, training the best.
Hill and Gully Ride at License in St. Thomas, where 2 or 3 generations of Miss Ruby McFarlane's family have gathered to show their love and respect for her on the occasion of her birthday. Anybody else can tell me anything about Miss Ruby? I'm trying to get a picture of her now as a youngish woman living in London and working at this cook shop and other places as well. Tell me something about her life that you remember.
She had to see that we all went to Sunday school, and we'll have to tell her what we learned at Sunday school.
Okay.
Which was very, very funny.
Why?
Because sometimes we were naughty, we didn't remember. So she'll have to get it out of us.
Okay.
In some way or other.
Bring it out of you.
Yeah.
Who was your pastor? He was a Caribbean man?
No, he was an Englishman.
Then how he managed with all you Caribbean people?
Well, We all get together and communicate together. We usually have a play day sometime in the week, which we go and we learn to sing, play, and dance.
Yes.
Even cooking.
Yeah.
We used to learn at the church.
So even though he wasn't a Caribbean man, he was very active in the
Yes, he
community
was.
cultural life, huh?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
We had a choir.
Yeah, what
But
kind?
we couldn't sing, so we weren't in the choir.
Why you couldn't sing?
We didn't have the voice at that time.
Uh-huh.
But now some of us has.
Yes, okay. So how long did Miss Ruby spend in England?
My mom spent about nearly 50 years.
Oh, as long as that, huh?
Yeah.
Did they come back to Jamaica during that period at all?
Yes.
For a holiday or something?
They used to come on special occasion.
Uh-huh.
Like when my dad was buying a house in town, he used to come over very regularly.
In town where?
In Harborview.
Oh, yeah? Uh-huh. You used to come over to see how things were going.
My name is Dennis Winter.
Dennis Winter?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember anything about those days? You were born in England too?
I was born in England, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was brought up and raised in my grandparents' house.
Uh-huh. Tell me what you remember about those days.
Well, I always remembered we had a piano in our house, which much people at the time didn't have a piano in their house.
That's right.
Only the well-to-do, yeah? Now, our intentions was to learn how to play the piano.
Yeah.
But we always came in and started to play about on the piano and make so much noise of it that my gran used to turn around to us and say, especially when she wanted to watch the news, she used to say, tappy nice, tappy nice. So then we had to put the piano down until when we had a bit of free time to actually spend around the piano.
Yes. So it's the BBC News she was listening to?
That's,
Was it television or radio in those
it was
days?
black and white TV.
Black and white
back
TV?
then. Yeah.
Uh-huh. What kind of programs you were looking
Yeah,
at?
more detective programs, and the sports
Oh.
at the time was wrestling. It was
Uh-huh.
a big thing in our house,
Yeah.
you know. And I just want to alliterate on what my brother was saying to you earlier on.
Yeah.
I mean, my gran, she used to make us patties every weekend as a treat,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know, we normally have soup on a Saturday,
Yeah.
and later on down in the day, our treat was a patty, you know, that was made by my gran. And that's how we actually became to know about patties,
Yes.
because they wasn't selling them
Just-
sort of like,
Just for the home?
yeah, it was more a home thing. It wasn't sold in like your local shops, your fish and chip shops. It was like 20 years later, we started to realise that the English people started to sell patties in fish and chip shop.
Yes. So but did the patties taste good?
Well, they didn't taste like my gran's.
Yeah, but so your grand, she made good patties, because
Good
not
patties.
everybody can make good patties, you know.
Well, no, I mean, her patties were the equivalent of Tasty's patties.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, today,
Yeah.
you know. But you'd go in a fish and chip shop and you'd get an English patty and you don't really know what it
What
was
it is.
inside. Yeah. And there was a fish and chip shop near us, but our parents wouldn't really allow us to go there.
Why?
Well, I mean, it's only now I grew up and realised, I mean, they were selling it to you out of newspaper, you know.
Oh, uh-huh.
So actually, when you eat the chips, you could see the print
Uh-huh.
on the chips,
Yeah.
you know. And I actually think it was black people that actually turned that around to let them realise you can't be serving chips
On old newspaper?
in old newspaper.
Yes.
So that was one of the reasons why we wasn't really allowed to go to the chip shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you remember about your grandfather? You say his name was Ken, right?
Marskin, yeah.
What
He was a carpenter by trade,
Yeah.
yeah? And he always advised us to try and get a trade when we leave school,
Uh-huh.
you know. Anything we wanted made out of wood, he'd always put it together for us,
Uh-huh.
you know.
He had his tools there, his saw and hammer and...
He had the whole lot, you know. And he's a man that worked 7 days a week,
Uh-huh.
not 5, you
Yeah.
know. He'd work half day on a Sunday and then come home, have a shower and then go to church.
Okay. So did you learn anything from him about how to handle tools and make things?
Well, I learned that I needed to have a trade when I got older, and I always took that advice, you know, and I'm a tradesman today.
What you do?
I'm a builder. I work in the building industry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How have things changed since those earlier days?
Well, it's changed drastically. I mean, back then, I mean, there weren't all these efficient machines that they use today. When my granddad was around, I mean, it was just his hands he was using. He very rarely had machine tools that they have around today.
Yes.
Yeah. Manual tools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he made good stuff, eh?
Oh, he made great stuff.
For sale or what?
Well, just say for instance, yeah, we wanted a rabbit coop, yeah, and to go out and buy one of them in England those days was an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
So we spoke to my granddad, and he actually made one for us.
A rabbit coop.
So we could put our rabbits in.
So you kept rabbits, eh?
Yeah, when we was young.
They breed very quickly, eh?
Very quick.
So what you did with the surplus rabbits?
We used to just move them on, like, to other families. We used to give them away.
Yeah.
You know?
You are watching Hill and Gully Ride, brought to you by the Media Technology Institute, training the best.
Greetings one and all. My name is Sheldon Shepherd, and this is to get you certified. Certified at MTI, Media Technology Institute at the CPTC. Yeah, man, you can be all you can be. You can be all you want to be. Seen in areas of graphic arts, areas of media technology, areas of audio engineering, and my particular area, voice and speech. Seen? So come out, Arnold Road, CPTC, talk to people, pick up a brochure, seen, and get certified. Respect.
You are watching Hill and Gully Ride, brought to you by the Media Technology Institute, training the best.
We're on Hill and Gully Ride at License in St. Thomas, where members of Miss Ruby McFarlane's extended family are telling us about their life in London.
My whole family used to like wrestling. It was more about wrestling.
Not soccer or anything like that?
Nah, it was our generation that actually brought soccer into the house, you know. Because I think back then, West Indians didn't really know much about football, did they?
I don't know. Yeah, why not?
I'm more or less interested in.
I mean, you was more into cricket, innit?
Cricket. Oh, yes, you're right. Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right.
But my family, we come from a background where, you know, especially the generation today, they're very athletic, you know, and a lot of them seems to take up the sports during their school days.
Yes, but cricket is not as dynamic as it used to be. There was a time when the West Indies cricket team was really like a, you know.
They were like number one. I mean,
yes.
Back home in England, I mean, everybody used to cheer on the West Indian cricketers, but you don't really hear them get a mention now.
No, well, the struggle. Ramadan and Valentine and all those people, Sobers, yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you remember going to those matches at all? Any cricket matches? And where would they play these matches?
The Lords is in central London.
At Lords,
it's one of the cricket grounds in central London. We did get the opportunity to go there in our early days.
Yes.
You know. Funny, we didn't actually live too far from there. You know. Yeah.
Okay, anything more you can tell me about Miss Ruby?
My name is Beverly.
Beverly
Smith.
who?
Beverly Smith. I am another granddaughter.
What you remember about those young days? You watched your grandma cooking her patties and all that?
Yes.
Tell me about
patties for the parties, and I used to be intrigued. She used to get the fork and print around the patties to seal them with the fork. But what I mainly remember is the coconut drops.
Oh, I'm trying to remember how those were made now. You had to dry coconuts, no?
It used to take so long because she used to boil the sugar all day. So she used to like do it on a Saturday, and she would start in the morning and we used to be going, are they ready yet? She'd be going, no, the sugar don't done boil yet. All day these coconut drops used to take. And then even when she came back to Jamaica, she used to make them and send them for us. Remember when you used to get the groceries in the brown bags?
Yeah?
Yeah, she used to send us like...
They used to call it cut cake or grated cake or something. What do you used to call it?
Coconut drops.
Coconut drops. So you went
she used to make syrup too.
Oh, out of what?
Sugar.
Uh-huh.
Sugar and lemon.
And flavourings.
Several members of the family migrated to England then, so that house was pretty full, eh?
It was full all the time. And they used to have parties.
I was told that you had a piano.
Yeah, we had a piano.
Who played?
I don't remember the piano.
Yeah.
You remember it?
Yeah.
Well, who played the piano?
I remember the piano. I was the one who played the guitar.
Oh, you had a guitar too. What kind of tunes were you playing?
I was learning to play the guitar at school.
Yeah.
And the only tune that I can remember singing, I had to sing it in the school assembly. And I used to practice it around the piano.
Yeah.
And I sang, it was a record that was in the English pop charts at the time.
Yeah. What was the name?
It was a record called The Streets of London.
Uh-huh. Sing it for me.
How does he remember this?
It went something like, let me get it right. Have you seen the old man walking through the streets of London, telling yesterday's reading yesterday's papers, telling yesterday's...
All right, start again now, start again. and sing louder. Sing louder.
Sing loud.
Have you seen the old man walking through the streets of London, reading yesterday's papers, telling yesterday's news? So how can you tell me you're lonesome? It's safe for you that the sun don't shine. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something that will make you change your mind. And you know, I sing that song every day up until now. My kids are fed up with it. And the appropriate thing is, as I get older, that's what I actually do for a living.
What?
Show people the streets of London.
Oh, really? Guide them through?
So it was like the song was a calling.
Yes.
No, he drives a taxi.
I drive a taxi, which we take. In London, it's slightly different from anywhere else in the world. It's something you train for, which takes 3 whole years. And within that time, you get to learn every street, every business, every hotel, every tourist attraction, and you take people there on a daily basis.
Yes, before you get your license, you have to learn the streets.
Yes, all the streets of London.
What the cab look like?
The cab?
Black?
They're called a London black cab. And they're built like a tank. They run on diesel, and they've got a bright light at the front of it, letting people know that I'm for hire.
Yes.
And they can come and they can hail me off the street, and I take them anywhere their heart desires.
Yes.
See, the West Indian people actually call it the black money box.
The black money box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they?
You ever lost your way at all?
Oh no, oh no. In actual fact, I'm also the teacher.
How you got along with the policeman on the beat?
The policeman on the beach? What, here?
No, over there.
Oh, in there.
On the beach?
Well...
Oh, whatever they do. Whatever they
on
do.
the beat.
On the beach.
Well, I have a good relationship because that's what I do.
Yes.
I'm in the forefront of it every day, so I have to have good, positive and happy vibes with them.
You never broke the stoplights or anything?
Oh, no, no. In actual fact, I have a clean license for 24 years.
Yes, very good. They should have given you a medal. What are some of the more interesting sites that you took people to, apart from the Thames River?
When people come from Jamaica, I do quite a lot of tours for, family and friends of theirs.
What you tell them?
And The number one place they always want to go is to Buckingham Palace.
Yes, of course.
And to watch changing of the guard. So
Ah.
I always arrange for them at the correct time, and I take them there, and then they can go along with the procession.
Yes.
And second to that, they want to know Big Ben. Big Ben is London's second largest tourist attraction.
Yes.
And Big Ben is the name of a bell that's situated on the Houses of Parliament. The House of Parliament is the government office, and
Yes.
there's a big clock on it. That is probably about, I think it's about 2 meters across.
Yes.
So it's a huge bell, but you can hear the bells ringing all throughout London.
We have been visiting with Miss Ruby's family at License in St. Thomas. They've been telling us about their life in London.